Is up, Ravens flock? This is We Bleed Purple podcast. Daniel Wilcox, Matt Trigger. We are here covering the second week of Ravens training camp, and we have a very special guest. He played with Wilcox for his last season in Baltimore. They were teammates, and this gentleman spent about 3 or 4 years here. Played nose tackle with some of the greatest Ravens ever, part of some of the most historic defenses in team history. Brandon McKinney. B-Mac, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
B Mac, welcome to the show, bro.
Man,
Thank you
thanks
for
for having
joining
me.
us on
Thanks
this
for having me, bro.
on this training camp episode. So before we get started, everybody that doesn't know Brandon McKinney, he played on the Ravens from 2008 to 2011. He was a part of that historic failure in in New England.
Hold on, man.
Yeah. In New England, he wasn't responsible, obviously, but the Lee Evans drop, he was here for that, and but he played on some monster defenses.
Mhm.
He was the nose tackle in the middle, played with Kelly Gregg, played with Haloti Nada, played with Ray, all those guys. So before we get any further, it's training camp. You made a post on your Facebook a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
B-Mac, that you said that you get antsy around this time of year. You get,
I saw that.
real juiced up. So
Yeah.
kind of give us a little bit of perspective for the big fella in the trenches when it comes to getting ready for training camp and getting in there.
I mean, it's. I've been playing football since I was 7, man. So it's always that end of July, early August type deal is when you just start getting excited. The air's a little different. Friday night's different. Friday morning's different. Saturday morning. I mean, it's just different. I don't know what it is. So now I'm actually back coaching. I'm coaching at Central State University now, coaching the defensive line. So
Love that.
I went the administrative route for about 5 years. Wasn't for me. I was an athletic director about 3 different schools, man. It's a great job, great career, but football is where it's at.
That's crazy, man. I'm glad you went the administration route. That's pretty dope, man. It's just that means that Michigan State education did you right.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I'm happy to be here, man. Happy to be on the show, man.
Did he freeze up?
It was a no-brainer
Am I
to
froze
be
up?
here, be on here.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, one of the first things we always talk about is I like to get Wilcox's point of view for a lot of things that goes on, from a day-to-day perspective of an active player.
Mhm.
Now, Wilcox played tight end. You played defensive line. You were a nose tackle in the trenches. What was it like preparing for a John Harbaugh training camp? Because it's been said over the years that he's notorious for having very tough conditioning tests and having to pass it just to get into practice. What was it like preparing for that?
It was stressful, to say the least. I think so. I came in when I first got there in '08. I came in the middle of the season, so I didn't know much about what was going on. We didn't have a conditioning test when I came to San Diego.
Right.
But the following year, I came to all the workouts. So I didn't have to do the conditioning test. But it was the first 3 days were 2-a-days, full padded practices. And man, I was a point where I was like, hey, I got a couple of dollars in the bank account. I ain't got to do this anymore. I mean, it was straight padded practices. So that '09 year I got hurt, ended up having back surgery. So I came in the next year and I had to do the conditioning test and then report with the rookies. So they'll do the conditioning test, then practice. I threw up doing practice. I passed the conditioning test. I was in shape, but I mean, man, it was just so much. So, being in shape for a John Harbaugh training camp back in those days was you had to be mentally prepared and physically prepared.
Yeah, it was absolutely brutal, Matt. Like I remember that first year he first came in, and I tell guys this all the time because I didn't really understand how coaching really was or what it really was. I knew he was my coach. I knew these guys coached me the X's and O's, but I didn't really understood the mindset of a coach until I retired and I started coaching myself.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches truly believe they have to come in extremely hard so they can gain your respect. If they come in too light, then they feel like they'll lose you early on, and then you won't ever respect them. So they rather come in extremely hard, force you to respect them, and then they'll lighten up later.
Right.
Well, he never lightened up on us in that 2008 season. So
No.
that first training camp, B-Mac, like it was the most like treacherous, horrid, horrific training camp I think I've ever been through in my entire life. It was, I mean, if it was 2 days and it was full pad, both practices all week long for like a week and a half straight. Like it got so bad that the guys tried to stop training camp and actually kind of rebelled. Like, we're not going out, bro. If we're in full pass today, we just not going out.
Right.
Nobody ain't going out. Like, we was about to buck the system. It got that bad, you know. So hearing what you saying just now, like having to come back, you know, and having to do that conditioning test, you know, and then you threw up in the middle of practice. I could totally get it. I could totally understand why you felt the way you felt in the middle of practice, because it's almost like his first couple of years, he looked at us like we was real Madden characters, and he was in his house on his couch, comfortable as hell, playing Madden, and we never got tired. He boosted all our energy up so high that we just never got fatigued in the game.
Correct.
You know, and he was just pressing the X and O buttons all day long. He just sat back and enjoyed watching us kill each other, and it was kind of crazy.
Even after the lockout year, when we came, we were only allowed to practice one time, but we had 3-hour practices. It was so bad that at the end of practice, we didn't even call it up, get off the field. That was it, because we didn't have no more time.
Right.
That's how it was.
Every single second.
You look at a Baltimore Ravens team, though, and how they play, is like he's doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Who was like that before he came, though, B-Mac?
Well, yeah, you were. See, you're absolutely right. So, you know, I don't know. When I first got there, I didn't like his coaching style, mainly because I was getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like, dang, we still winning, and
we winning.
It's cool. I think he kind of lightened up as far as, you know, having more personality. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember that 2008, and it was just straight. I'm jamming you guys, and then you know, it's not fun. Walkthrough was strict. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there was no, you had to have on shoes, certain types of shoes. You had to have your jersey tucked in at practice.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all little tedious things, and I get it as a coach. It's like, man, if you can't keep your jersey tucked in at practice, how can you play for me? How can you get in the right gap? Yeah. I get it. I understand it now. But as a 25-year-old, you know, with a little money in his pocket, I'm like, man, forget this.
Thought about it. It was a lot of us thought about hanging him up that year, boy.
Hey, listen, especially that year I came out after back surgery. I sat in that locker room. I was like, hey, I can go teach or something. I was like, man, I just signed a new deal too. I was like, hey, man, this ain't where it's at. And coming from San Diego, it was nice and sunny. About 80, 85 degrees or whatever, humid. I'm like, hey, this ain't it.
What was the biggest contrast for you coming from San Diego to Baltimore?
It was the team, the mentality was completely different. I mean, San Diego was Hollywood, man. It was what you thought it was. That team that was out there was wild, but we still worked hard. We still a top 5 defense.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got to Baltimore. It was almost like a culture shock. I mean, it was real live, you know, hey, we getting it from the mud over here. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I remember that first game I played, and it's one thing to watch a Ravens defense, but it was another thing to actually be in a Ravens defense. You know, I was actually watching film the other day, that first game I played against Indianapolis. And here I am, boom, I'm in my gap. Oh, man, I'm about to make a play. There's like 3 other dudes right there. I'm like, hold on. Hey, y'all, this is my play. You know what I'm saying? So that ramped up my ability to play, man. So it was different. The culture was different, but as far as the mentality and the defense, it was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys something, because I watch a lot of podcast clips on other shows that are, you know, on social media. Anquan Bolden recently did an interview where he was talking about Haloti Ngata and Wilcox. Wilcox, I didn't know if you saw it or not. I think I sent it to you.
I saw it.
B-Mac, Bolden said that Harbaugh held Haloti Ngata out of team drills and one-on-ones because he didn't want Haloti hurting anybody. Was that embellishment, or did he really keep Haloti out of a lot of the drills?
Um,
Because you played a little bit longer with Haloti.
yeah, I played 4 years with Haloti. Haloti, I think there were times they tried to keep Haloti out. I don't know what reasons were,
Yeah.
but he was a destroyer though for sure. I mean, you know, there's only a few dudes in this world I really wouldn't say square up with. He's one of them. My dad's one of them too, and then Domata Peko is another one. So you can get where I'm going
He
with
was a
this.
Raven for a while too.
Yeah,
Towards the end of his career.
Me and Domata played together at Michigan State.
Yeah.
And so a couple guys I wouldn't square up with. Those two of them,
Yeah. 100%.
But but nah, man. Haloti was so big and fast and quick and strong, man. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't want him to hurt nobody, but then again, you don't want him to get hurt either. He was a big part, of what they did in the defense, man, especially with his ability.
Yeah, I thought he was resting them. I didn't know he was resting them because he didn't want Haloti to hurt nobody. I thought he was actually resting Haloti so that he didn't, risk getting Haloti hurt, in practice.
A lot of time Haloti wouldn't rest. I'm practicing, and that's just kind of guy he was. But
right, he didn't want no special privileges at all. He wanted to be a grown ass man.
Yeah, He was out there getting it, man. And I you always applaud Haloti for that, man, because he came to work every day. He could have slacked off and took the special treatment, but he was a man out there.
I think Anquan was trying to figure out why he was getting special treatment, because Anquan is a dog himself, right?
Right.
So when he came to Baltimore, he saw Haloti getting special privileges, not having to practice on certain days. He was like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did he didn't even know who Haloti was, because he don't get down and dirty on the inside. He don't put his hand in the dirt. He outside on those edges, so he know who the DBs are.
Right.
He don't really know. He don't really know who the freaking interior D linemen are.
No, not like that.
Yeah. But once you got a chance to see that grown man work, watch his footwork. Boy, until he was sick with it.
And he's a rugby player too. So I mean,
100%, dog. But took the rock.
Yes.
I tried to get him to put him in on goal line packages and give him the ball, bro. Like, why wouldn't you?
That'd have been crazy, man. Who's gonna tackle?
Nobody.
Right. And
nobody.
So
that Keith Sweat song.
Nobody.
So on the other side of the ball, though, just focusing on the trenches. Marshall Yonda was here for those years with you. Yeah. I'm sure that was an iron sharpens iron kind of situation, because that was a bad dude.
Yeah, Marshall Yonda was, you size up. You like to size up over lineman. You like to say, I can do this more. I can work that. But Marshall Yonda was so always squared up on you, man, and he would never. You can never find a weakness on Marshall Yonda. You know what I'm saying? And so I hated pass rushing against dude, man, especially doing one-on-one. It's like, what is he gonna do? He's just so good and so balanced, got a great center of gravity, man. The bull rusher. I was strong about everybody on the defensive or offensive line, so it was like, I mean, I love going against him, man.
Yeah, I know he gave a lot of dudes problems. We talked to a couple of other defensive guys last season. They brought up Yonda being a problem in practice.
Oh yeah,
but the Ravens training camp is underway, guys. Wilcox, his heart's hurting a little bit, Brandon, because Isaiah likely is going to miss 2 months with ankle surgery.
I saw
he got
that,
hurt.
Man.
He got hurt on the last play of the session for practice.
That's how it always is. One more play.
The one more play. And then Zay Flowers, our star wide receiver, he missed practice today as well, with the lower leg injury. So we don't know what's really going on there. They've been kind of mumbling that, but it just seems like we always get that one injury every year where somebody of significance gets hurt and misses the start of the season. But Isaiah likely, he's our de facto number one tight end. 1A, 1B with Mark Andrews.
Right.
What do you like so far from this 2025 Ravens team, just in terms of roster build? They brought back Derrick Henry on an extension. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins to replace Nelson Aguilar.
Right.
They drafted this young kid out of LSU, Emory Jones, to be probably our starting left guard. He was the best graded run blocker in college football this year in terms of offensive linemen. How do you feel about this team structure so far? They brought back their core. Almost everybody's back on the offense and the defense.
Right. I like it, man. I like Derrick Henry on the defensive end. I mean, I'm sorry, the offensive end running back. I got to excuse my daughter's right
That's
here.
cool. It's cool. I got a little one upstairs too.
She turned, boy. When I say lit, she lit.
Right there, look, see. But yeah, I like Derrick Henry. I like the duo back there, man. With him and Jackson. That's a problem. That's a problem for defenses, man. That's a nightmare, actually.
Yeah.
You got speed and power. Speed and power in one person, and you got speed in another. So that's hard to stop. I haven't paid much attention to the defense that's this year, but I do like the defensive coordinator. If it's the same guy I think it is.
Yeah.
Zach Orr.
I think he's pretty good. I like him.
He's
Lamar.
going into year 2 right now. B-Mac.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a young guy, right?
Yeah. Former player that got hurt, and Harbaugh retained him as a coach, and he got a chance to be the DC last year for the first year. Started off extremely slow.
Yeah.
And then towards the middle of the season, they started to turn around. Then by the end of the season, last 6 games, number one defense in the whole world.
Absolutely.
Like the last 6 or 7 games stat-wise.
I like dude. Yeah, I like dude. But, man, I just feel like they got all the tools on offense, man. They can score points. You know what I mean? And I just I really want Lamar to do it. You know what I mean?
Man, we all do.
We want it bad.
Everybody keeps saying, "How the Ravens going to?" I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. It's always something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to the playoffs and to the big games, it's always something. It's never, let's just start it like it's game 5 or 6. We roll. When we get to the playoffs, it gets cloudy, and I don't understand what that is. I already know. You know what I'm saying? So, you ain't got nothing to lose, man. Go out there and play. If I'm gonna lose,
shoot all your shots.
I'm gonna lose going out like that, man. I'm not gonna lose, being tight and everything just not working like it's supposed to, man. So everybody gotta loosen up, chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna do one or two things. You're gonna win
or
you're gonna lose.
That's it.
I mean, it's not that hard.
That's some real Talladega Night shit. If you're not first, you're last.
Ricky Bobby shaking bait. No, for real, B-Mac. Like from your standpoint, like I since I've coached and played and I've did the scouting stuff and all that stuff, I've did recruiting and all that stuff since I retired. From your standpoint, man, like having a quarterback like a Lamar Jackson, you on the defensive side of the ball. I know how it feels for us on the offensive side of the ball. I never got a chance to play with a Lamar Jackson ever in my entire career. So to be able to have a guy like him on the offensive side of the ball, how does that motivate you to be a better defensive player? If that makes sense.
I feel I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was like that when I was with the Colts. We got Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
We came into camp and I was like, hey, we got something special. We as a defense need to tighten up. And so when you got something special on the offensive line, man, on the offensive side, it's like, hey, man, 13 points is the most we can give up because they're going to put up points.
Right.
And that should be a defensive goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1 touchdown, 2 field goals. Bend but don't break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you got that gas on the offensive side, man. It's very motivating. When we played, when I was there in 2008, it was, sometimes the attitude was like, man, forget it, man. We got us. We just go out there and do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Because, it was at times.
I didn't know if we was going to score.
No.
we didn't know either.
Yeah. So it was like, it was that's how the mentality was.
That's really wild to think about, though, that you just don't know what the offense is going to do out there.
No.
Because you had a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back.
Yes.
And
a rookie head coach.
A rookie head coach. And your defensive
coach. First year OC, too, that year. Cameron.
And then, Rex Ryan was the only constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the stuff we did that year, man, like went out into Texas, down to Dallas, man, and we obliterated them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I'll never forget Cameron called that whole second half at halftime. You remember that? He said, "This is what we're going to do." And everything that we did in that second half, we actually did it. I could not believe it. You know what I'm saying? So that was we had some special moments that year where the offense was
Was that
just.
the year McGahee and McLean went back to back on those 80-yard runs?
That's exactly what
Oh,
we was talking
that was
about.
a game,
Yeah,
man. I remember that game.
yeah,
Dallas
I,
Cowboys game. Yeah,
that
we
was
had
our that was our last game in the old Cowboy Stadium.
absolutely.
correct.
Yeah,
We had some
y'all shut
special
down the old
moments,
Cowboy
man.
Stadium.
Yeah, that was a circus down there too, boy.
It was.
I mean, a circus.
It was. The fans are crazy as hell. Boy.
That was wild, man.
Goodness
That was a
gracious.
good time.
I agree. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, good, Wilcox.
No, before we got away from the injuries, we was talking about Isaiah Likely and we was talking about Zay Flowers getting hurt. And I know Brandon had mentioned his back injury earlier, and I was just kind of wondering, like your mentality or your mindset. I know how it was for me when I got hurt in 07, but what is your mindset as a player, as a defensive lineman in the NFL, playing one of the toughest positions out there, one of the hard-nosed, toughest, grittiest positions you could possibly play? How was it getting injured, and how did you deal with that mentally?
Man, it was tough because it was a back injury, man.
Yeah.
And I wasn't high on the depth chart like that, but it was yeah, we're just gonna put you on IR. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it was. You know what I'm saying? And so just trying to deal with that, and then what I do is take on double teams. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, when I did have the surgery, the only thing I did all off season was walk on a treadmill and do core exercises for 6 months straight. So taking on double teams was easy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
How was your mindset just having to deal with that type of injury and just being out? Because I try to talk to Matt and I try to get him to understand sometimes, like the way we work as players, we do everything in our mind, everything in our physical ability to try to get back on the field as fast as possible. And then it's hard sometimes being in that training room because the longer you're in there, the more people come in there and ask you how you doing. And every time
Correct.
somebody asks you how you doing, that adds pressure to you to try to get back out there a lot faster than you probably should. So how was your do you remember what your mental mindset was as you was just kind of sitting out and just dealing with this injury?
My mindset was it was cool because I wasn't. It was off season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had the surgery in February,
Yeah.
and then I was in California for 10 days, and then after that I came back. Nobody was still in the facility, and so it was easier that way. But once OTA started and everybody started coming back, they're happy to see you, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on? How you been? When you coming back? And it's like, man, all right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so the mental aspect of it, man, it was kind of hard, but at the same time, it's like stick to the plan. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That the doctors put for you and the trainers have for you, and
Structure.
that's the hardest part of it because you were like, I gotta get back, I gotta get back. I never forget the first time I ran before. I never forgot the first time I ran. It was like I never ran before.
Yeah.
I couldn't lift my knees, and I was just like, man. But then you don't realize how fast it comes back, either.
Yeah.
So by the time training camp got there, I think I was on pup list for about a week maybe, and then it was on the crack.
I love it.
Yeah. Brandon, I wanted to ask you, man, just pertaining to the injury and you coming back from it. Back surgery is nothing to scoff at, especially for a defensive lineman where the team expects its nose tackles to carry 300 plus pounds on the body frame, if not a lot more than that. So, what was it like having to adjust your body to the contact after the surgery?
It was like just doing drills,
Mm-hmm.
moving slowly, dealing with one person, trying to move one person, and then actually getting into action, and then just started. It kind of came back to you. Um, like I said, once I came back from the injury, my core was so strong because that's all I did.
Yeah.
it was much easier to strike people. I mean, it's something I should have did before I had back surgery. I shouldn't have been doing this
Right.
my whole career.
100%.
And it's like, guys, like when I tore my ACL, it's like, well, you tore your ACL because your hips is tight. Now I come back from the ACL surgery, my hips ain't never been as loose. It's like,
Yeah.
why didn't anybody tell me before this? You know what I'm saying? So,
100%. Yep.
you know, it was, I think for me, it was just being able to run because I was a big guy who could run. So, you know,
It-
when I first started running, it was just like, I feel like I'm 800 pounds. I can't
I
move.
could, I mean, I can imagine because I know that you were here for Rex for a while, and then he moved on to New York. But playing nose tackle for the Ravens, it's a demanding position because, like you said, you're taking on a lot of double teams because you got to keep Ray and Bart and all those guys clean. You got to make sure that
Mhm.
they have running lanes to fill and all that. So I can imagine just the pressure in your brain to get back to the playing field quickly
Right,
enough to where you don't lose your spot in the rotation.
right. Hold on just a second, y'all. I'm sorry.
You good. What's her name? What's her name? B Mac?
Nova,
Nova?
Nova.
2 years old. She'll be 3 in 2 weeks.
She
That
two?
right.
She only two? She talking like she 10.
She's 2 going on 30, I'm telling you.
I saw you had a daddy daughter date a couple days ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I got one of those too.
yeah, man. So, yeah, my mom is away. And, okay, here you go, baby. Mom is away, and I got the kid. But it's all good. All right, so I'm sorry. What was that question now?
No, I was just saying, did you feel a little bit more pressure to get back from your injury because of the type of players that were on these defenses that you played on? The defense was always notorious, especially in your era of Baltimore Ravens. The defense carried the team, so cracking that lineup and cracking that playing rotation was important, especially as a nose tackle because it was only you, Haloti, and Kelly for a while, and I know other guys were in and out as well, but it's hard to crack the lineup when a Hall of Fame guy's in front of you anywhere. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter the position. So did you feel a little bit more pressure to get back sooner than you should have, or did
Yep.
you feel like you took your time and you trusted the process for
I
that?
mean, it's kind of both. I felt the pressure because they drafted Terrence Cody. And so, he was a second round pick at that. So
Right. I
that
remember
was the
Terrence
pressure.
Cody.
Yeah, that was the pressure there. And then, but it's like, man, I can't come back too soon. I got to get right. Because when I come back, I can't go back. I can't get injured again. It's all bad. You know what I'm saying? So that was the biggest thing. It was just hard mentally. And you got to be strong. You have to really be mentally strong and really be able to stay on track and do everything you're supposed to do. You kind of got to kind of use that frustration you have and use it in the rehab and use it in the getting back. Because if you just you get off track, man, it puts you back, and then everybody is saying, hey, you're supposed to be back at this point in time,
Right.
not here, and next thing you know, he been in them streets, he ain't doing this. I mean, all kinds of stuff coaches start coming up with, and they might try to create this narrative about you. Especially a guy like me, because I wasn't, I was a career backup. So, what I'm saying? It was easy to get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? So, I had to stay in town, I had to stay alert, I had to show the coaches I was ready to do what I needed to do. So it was a little taxing, man, but it's all worth it. And it builds you, it makes you a better person, a better man as well, too.
When you came from San Diego to Baltimore, um, off the field, what was the biggest difference from living in California to living in Baltimore? And obviously it's different weather. Once November hits, it's bitter here,
Yeah, oh yeah.
and you're playing you're playing so many different elements. What was one of the biggest differences off field for you?
Off field, the price of living. Nah, it was. I mean, it was pretty much the same. Otherwise in the weather. The hanging out, kicking it was what it was. Um, Baltimore was just a tad bit more grimy than San Diego. San Diego has its places, but you got palm trees.
They got beaches, yeah.
Yeah, so you got palm trees in the hood. So it's like you really don't know where you're riding to. But it was outside of ball. I mean, it was a great city. San Diego was one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen, though, especially up in La Jolla. La Jolla Beach, at the time was like one of the most expensive cities to live in the country. So. But if I could ever get the opportunity to go back to Baltimore, I'm going back to live.
I know that's right. I'm thinking about going back too, B-Mac.
Yeah, I love the DMV area, man. I love it over there, man.
I just need an excuse, like a divorce or something like that.
Right.
See, you're talking about wild shit already, Wilcox.
Right.
My bad.
We're not doing it.
My bad.
Sean's gonna kill you. She's gonna kill you.
My wife won't go. She won't move back to Baltimore, but I think she's really feeling Atlanta way too much. She's in television and production and stuff down here. She's killing it. So I mean, Baltimore wouldn't be able to house her work ethic and the things that she's doing right now. She would have to fly to New York and fly to Atlanta just to get work, or California to get work. Mm. Quick question, B-Mac. Like as a player, what was the thing that you hated most about a coach?
A coach? That's a good question. Man, that's a damn good question.
Thank you.
Because I mean, I had really good experiences with my position coaches.
Yeah,
I never disliked them. I love CB.
Yeah.
I can't really say that I really disliked any coaches in my time.
For those that don't know who's CB.
Clarence Brooks, he was a defensive line coach.
Clarence Brooks, yep.
Yeah, he was a defensive line coach at the time. He passed some years ago. Yeah. Real good dude, man. Real good dude.
Hey, I don't want you to feel like I'm asking you to say what you like, what coach you hated. I want to know what you hated most about a coach. Like if it was one thing that you hated about a coach, what was it?
All the probably pre-practice.
Pre-practice? Like individuals?
Yeah, so I would see offensive line. Oh, you remember the offensive line? Oh, I felt so sorry for him.
That sled,
man. It was the pre-practice. My first year there, it was a Hal and it was two O-line coaches. It was an older guy and it was.
I remember that.
Yeah, and man, we would come out. I would always come out early. And they'd be out there. By the time I got out there, they'd be in full sweat.
Yeah.
Full workout mode. And I'd be like, hey, man, y'all taking advantage of these young cats, bro. Like, I always say, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. I understand you got to work at it. But, man, they will have a full workout by the time we get to stretching.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I did hate about will be pre-practice, man.
Gotcha. The second part of that question. As a coach, hey Nova, how you doing, baby?
Say hi.
Hi, baby.
Hi Nova.
Hi. Hey, a second part of that question, B-Mac. As a coach, what's one thing that you hate most about a player?
Entitlement.
Damn, that was quick.
That was real quick. That was real quick. That sounded like a lot of resentment in that answer too.
Right. Entitlement.
Okay. In my experience and what I've seen, man, and the climate of college football, especially.
Correct. Yeah. All this NIL stuff, the money.
NIL stuff. I know. Don't get it wrong. I'm for players getting paid.
Me too. 100%.
I'm for players getting paid, but
I thought it should have been done differently, though. Go ahead.
I think so. I think the loyalty factor is not there, and the transfer portal makes it hard to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Dad, I don't want to watch this.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that's right. Yeah, then you put some real on.
Right. The transfer portal makes it hard for college football now.
Yeah.
So.
Like this one. No, like here.
Okay. So, I'm for the players getting paid, but they got to do something with the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Or the school's got to give them a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
So they don't have to, you know what I'm saying? So they say, hey, I got you for 2 years. That slows the portal down. And that makes them make a better decision on what school they want to be in. So I feel like
treat it like JUCO almost.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Like a non-qualifying JUCO. That's interesting. That's the first time I heard that.
You got to
It is
sign.
interesting.
I think you should have to sign a minimum of 2 years to go to a school.
That's a good point because my thought process. So I've talked to Wilcox about it a lot, Brandon. Um, if you hit the transfer portal, I think the first one should be on the house. Like you should be able to go where you want to go. But after that, I think they should revert back to the old NCAA rules. You got to sit out a whole year, or you got to
Yep.
go to a lesser conference or a lesser school,
Yep.
and then work your way back up. Because these kids, there's kids now that have played for Ohio State, Alabama, and Texas in a 4-year span, 5-year span.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
It defeats the purpose of parity in college football at least.
Right. And the other thing I hate is they try to compare it to coaches leaving and going from school to school. So first of all, this is a job. This is not, if you really want to go back, you're going to school. You see what I'm saying? So don't compare a student to a coach, because I mean, eventually, I mean that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I hate that comparison. Well, the coaches get to do this, get to do that. Well, no, they're going to get another job. You're going to school. You're actually going to school. Believe it or not, whether you do or you don't, yeah, you're playing football, but you are a student athlete. I know that doesn't go together like it used to, but that's what it is. At the end of the day, you still are a student athlete. You still have to go to school. You still have to have the grades to play. So don't compare a student to me.
Yeah, I think that's a hard one though sometimes, because I think as a player, you try your best to be loyal, right, as a player, but then you see the coaches don't be loyal to the franchise the way you are to the franchise. So I think it's one of those things where it kind of goes back and forth. Like you can't commit to a school because of a coaching staff, but 90% of us commit because we really like that coach.
Right.
We didn't commit because we really like that program. So when the
Yep.
coach leaves, hell, you want to leave too. You don't
I
really
feel,
want to be. Yeah, you
I
don't really
feel
want
like if a coach leaves, there should be no penalty for you to transfer.
right.
That makes sense because if you are committing because of the coach, the next one that comes in might not have the same ideals in mind as you in terms of your personal trajectory through college
Absolutely.
and getting to the next level.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have this thing in my head too, BMAC, when I think about it, because I look at it now because college is almost pro ball now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you equivalent, when you kind of take the two and put them side by side and break them down, you have to really sit down and think about like how loyal we are to our franchises in the NFL, but our franchises are never really loyal to us. They use us till they feel like there's nothing else there for us, and then
Mm-hmm.
they kick us to the curb as quick as possible. Or if we don't put out right away, we gone.
Right.
Or if we late for something, we're gone. They replace us instantly. And then your coach get fired in the middle of the season, or and they don't realize how that affects you mentally.
Right.
I looked at my NFL career and I had 8 different offensive coordinators in 8 different seasons.
Dang.
So when I started thinking about stuff like that, like how do I become a successful H-back, tight end, receiver, running back, whatever I'm playing, if every year I got a different coach? I never got a chance to get settled into a position where
Correct.
that benefits me. And here I am being loyal to a franchise that ain't gonna be loyal to me. So when it come down to how much money they're gonna pay me to keep me, they may just kick me to the curb and bring somebody else in that's cheaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sense of loyalty that players have learned over the years from high school, park ball, high school, college, JUCO, whatever. When they get to the league, they still have that mentality that they have to be loyal to a franchise. And really, in reality, in this thing, our window of opportunity is about this big, and you got to get the chips while you can get the chips. Because if you don't get them,
That's what I say.
yeah, you kind of set your family up for failure. A lot of these
Right.
guys are not going to play past college. Come on, bro. I mean, the great guys you've seen them play college ball, get to the pros, and then last a week, then last a month, then last a year. So I outplayed almost my entire draft class in my 8-9 seasons.
Right.
So it's just when you think about that, like it kind of makes you want to scratch your head a little bit too, because we're asking these kids to be loyal to people that ain't really loyal to them.
Right. It's the mentality I tell people when going into the NFL is get in, get as much money as you can, and get out unscathed.
Yeah.
Because you're not. Most NFL players are never going to make this amount of money like that.
You got to treat it like it's a business.
So you got to get in, get out unscathed as much as possible. College, hell, college pitch now is, hey man, come up for 2 years, I can develop you. You can go D1. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that's how you have to recruit. That's how everybody recruits now. And so college is, to me, I say, hey, you go in. I tell recruits, I'm gonna get everything I can get out of you. It's your job to get out of this school what you can get out of.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna get what I need from you.
Yeah.
But you need to come in here and get what you need from the school. That you need network, get you good. I mean, you meet people, whatever that will
Mhm.
keep you going beyond football. That's what you need to do.
100%. I agree. My whole pitch when I was a college coach was, I think this is one of the biggest mistakes I made early on in my life because I went the JUCO route, spent 2 years JUCO, then I transferred to Appalachian State,
Right.
spent 3 years at App State, and then I went on to as an undrafted free agent to the NFL.
Uh-huh.
And one of my things is when I was coaching at Georgia State, I wanted the guys to understand where they was going to school at. Like, don't come here because of our coaching staff. Come here because this is the school that you want to be at.
Correct.
This is the place that you want to grow old at and raise your family at and be at downtown Atlanta, to be in the city of Atlanta, to be in the state of Georgia, to be right here by the major infrastructure, the state capital, to be where we were placement wise. It made more sense to me for kids to come to this school because it was 50 Fortune 500 companies right downtown Atlanta at your disposal. So if you don't make it in football, then you got the infrastructure to do whatever you want to do outside of football right here.
Correct.
If you want to be on television, television is here. CNN, TBS, Turner Broadcasting System,
Right.
Tyler Perry Studios, Oprah Winfrey Network, everything is right here in Atlanta. So if you want to do all those things, you can do that. If you want to be on television some kind of way, ABC, NBC, all that stuff is right here. And then if you wanted to go work for Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola's right here. They hub is here. Amazon got hubs here. Everybody got hubs here, right here in Atlanta, like where their main headquarters are. So I'm like, man, to me, think about life outside of football. And then this right here may be able to bring you home long-term success. You might meet your wife here. You're going to have your kids here. You're going to raise your family here.
Right.
You're going to have your first job outside of football here. And then you're going to have an opportunity to meet everybody that you want to meet while you're at school here at Georgia State.
Correct.
Even if you want to do music. I mean, you think about it. This is probably the music capital of the world right now. We killing it.
You got it all right there.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, I want to ask you a parenting question.
Yes.
No, it's crazy. We're all parents on this show. You've spent 20 years in the trenches playing football at the highest level, all the way through your formative years.
Yes.
What's it like getting bossed around by a little girl?
It's
Man, hey, Brandon, I don't talk about my job a whole lot on here. Wilcox knows what I do. I've worked in Maryland prison system for 15 years, bro, and I get bossed around by a 4'7" every single day of my life.
Hey man, my daughter's a thug, man.
Yeah, it's thugged out.
It's a
Hey man,
thugged out.
You know what Nova means? Do you know what the name Nova means?
Supernova.
It means something special.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
The name Nova means new in Latin. It means new. It also is the term for a star that simply increases its brightness after an explosion.
Yes.
So after she explodes and curses you out, she gets even brighter.
It's crazy.
Hey, I love live recordings, man. You never know what you're gonna get because he's leaning on her right now.
Yeah, her name also means new beginnings and positive change.
Yes. Yeah, he's leaning on her.
Yeah, he got to. Anytime you got to mute the
Yeah,
thing,
you gotta mute during the live.
Get your ass down.
Something's going on, man.
I had to put it on mute.
Hey, man, I understand, but
I don't want to see my Sally.
Yeah, she letting that man know what the deal is.
Yeah. B Matt, we're gonna let you go, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, man. We truly do.
I apologize, y'all. I appreciate
No, don't apologize, bro. You doing what all of us do. Trust me. Matt has had those days. I've had those days myself, man. So please don't apologize, dog. We're so thankful for you taking the time out of your busy schedule, of your parenting schedule, and your daily work schedule to come and spend a little time with us in the
Appreciate y'all, man.
podcast.
Hey, we'll have you back on the show at some point, bro.
Yeah, we got next time we got to make sure your wife is there. Nova, it's okay, baby.
No, but it's okay.
We got your back.
It's okay, man. But B Mac, let
Nova,
everybody know
look.
where they can find you real quick.
Nova, look.
You said, look at that. Look, baby. See that? Your bobblehead?
Look.
Wipe
It's
your face.
it's Fan Man. Look, it's Fan Man.
Wipe your face. Wipe your face.
It's gonna be okay,
man.
baby.
It's gonna be all right.
Say bye,
Nova,
y'all.
Nova, your name means positive change and new beginnings, okay? So you got to stay very positive, and every time you feel a certain way, you know there's always something new coming. All right. Also,
She's paying attention to that bobblehead. She ain't listening to you.
shut up, Matt. Also, your name means that you're a star. You're like up in the sky, like a star that you see up in the sky. The name Nova means you're a star, and your star shines even brighter after explosions. Okay. So right now you just had a little bit of explosion just now. You was upset and you was crying and stuff. So now your star is going to shine a little bit brighter, and then you're going to love Daddy a little bit more. Daddy's going to love you a little bit more, and Fan Man is going to love you a little bit more too. Okay, beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, be great. We
you.
love you. Good night
Say
from
good
Baltimore.
Night.
Look, check us out, Nova. We all got Ravens on. You see us?
See?
Yeah, we all got Ravens stuff on, just like Daddy.
See that? The Raven stuff?
Yeah, Daddy about to watch TV with you now in a minute. I promise you.
Oh,
Okay,
we're going to
we
bed.
done.
We're going to bed.
All
Hey,
right,
B-Mac,
we love you,
B-Mac,
dog.
we'll tag you in the episode, bro. Thank you
All
for
right.
joining us.
Appreciate
Good night,
y'all.
Nova.
Say bye-bye.
Don't forget to say your prayers.
Okay.
Okay, good night.
Daddy,
Yes,
on
guys.
the TV.
That was cool, man. But yeah, that was our first guest of the 2025 season. It was nice for B Mac to give us a little bit of time. Thank
Absolutely.
you again. If everybody wants to follow him on social media, you just type in Brandon McKinney on Facebook. That's where he's the most active with our fans.
Mhm.
Still to this day, he's a presence in Ravens flock. But before we wrap the show, Wilcox, we got some injury issues that we gotta attend to.
sure.
Hopefully Zay doesn't miss a lot of time. We know likely he's gonna miss a couple months. Do you go and get a veteran to bring in to kind of supplant likely, or do you trust Kolar until it's time?
I think you got to trust Kolar, but at the same time, you still got to go bring in another body. You down a major part of your offense, so you got to go get somebody else to come in to kind of take up that extra space that you're losing. And just in case somebody else go down, you got to have somebody there, to back them up. I mean, training camp is such a hard time. You don't know how guys train in the off season. Some guys overtrain, some guys undertrain, some guys don't train at all. And this thing, they're getting their bodies in shape to get pounded and banged up against and kicked and and punched and they fall down and take shots, stuff that normal people wouldn't get up from.
Right.
So their bodies are conditioned for what they do. And it's one of those things, Matt, where you just got to be prepared. And this organization prides itself on always being prepared. They're not going to be left out to the pasture if Mark Andrews was to go down now too. So to me, you got to go get a veteran guy, bring him in, and see what you can do in order to get this thing, keep this thing going and moving smoothly, because the tight ends are a huge part of this offense.
They are.
No brainer.
I'm gonna give you your props because you were a proponent for keeping Mark Andrews, especially
100%.
after the way last year ended and the mistakes that were made. Keeping Mark Andrews on the roster looks incredibly smart now.
Yeah.
Do you think this means there's going to be an uptick for guys like DeAndre Hopkins and Tez Walker, where they're going to get a little bit of those targets that were supposed to go to Isaiah? That might be
to me. If I'm the OC right now, Matt, I'm 100%. I'm going more to a 3-wide offense than I am a 2 tight end offense. I'll keep 1 tight end on the field because I only got 2 guys that I know could actually perform right now. So I'll make sure those 2 guys never be on the field at the same time unless I have no choice. And you don't forget, you still got Patrick Ricard too.
Right.
So I mean, I never would forget about him. So, but if I go 2 tight end, it's going to be Mark Andrews and Pat, or it's going to be Kolar and Mark, or something like that. But I promise you, I'm gonna do everything I can, to try to put the ball in my receivers' hands. But I'm always put the best guys on the field, no matter what. and I'm gonna try to get the ball to those guys as many times as I possibly can. Let my players make plays as an OC.
Yeah, I get it. I was thinking about that before the show tonight. I honestly think this is a perfect opportunity for DeAndre Hopkins to see a little bit more volume early on because,
Yeah,
right as the way it stood, likely was going to be one of Lamar's. You saw at the
biggest
end of
target.
last year. You
Yeah,
saw at the end of last year, Lamar was always looking for likely, especially in the red zone. He loved on those broken down scramble kind of plays.
yeah,
Likely was mirroring him wherever he went. If he was rolling out to the right, he was going right. If he was rolling out to the left
he was
and
going
cutting
left.
back, he was going left too. So they had that kind of understanding.
To me, this is one of those things that happens that it's like a freak incident when it happens, but it
Mhm.
also keeps people humble. Like people was really crapping on Mark Andrews. Like, come on, dude, this dude has been like one of the hugest staples of this offense for years now.
I was
He,
guilty of it.
yeah, he gets hurt, goes down, make one bad play when he gets back, and now all of it, everybody like, man, get rid of Mark. Isaiah this, Isaiah that. All right, now Isaiah's hurt now.
Yeah.
So now you got to face what your favorite tight end, being down. Just like when Mark went down, he was everybody's favorite tight end, but all of a sudden Isaiah pop up. Nobody likes Mark all of a sudden. So, I love Mark. I love Isaiah. I think they both could be a crazy 1-2 punch in this league.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens have done such a phenomenal job of scouting and putting players on this team. They give the fans the ability to be able to make the decisions that they make and choose the way they choose, because you can actually choose who's your favorite because they're that freaking good. And you can't take any of these guys for granted, man. They're the reason why the Ravens are who they are. And Mark is a
Absolutely.
huge reason why they were who they were for the last 5 to 6 years.
And being as though we weren't on air together for the 2024 off season and preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a proponent of how they handled everything? Where they sit all their major stars for all 3 preseason games, and that first regular season game is really like a 4th preseason game. We talked about that a little bit last year when we were on the Believe in Ravens show, and you said that was essentially our first show together. You said that was a preseason game. They were working the kinks out because
They were.
it took Derrick Henry almost 3 games to really find his groove in this offense.
Yeah.
Now
And it took the OC about 3 games to figure out how he was going to use them too.
Yeah, it did. And after that 4th game, when he decided that he was just going to steamroll everybody the rest of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and he certainly did that, because we talked about that last week where Derrick Henry. It's crazy. It actually came up on local television that Derrick Henry still to this day has more career high school rushing yards than he does NFL rushing yards.
That's
And
crazy.
it's crazy. It's insane. It's absolutely insane to me.
That man
Yeah.
said all they did was just turn around and give him the ball and say, go.
Yeah, he said I remember, he was talking
Nick
on the
Saban.
on the Pivot podcast with
Ryan
Ryan
Clark,
Clark
yeah.
and Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder. He said that he never had to pass block in high school, and he said Saban dug into him. He's like, they just gave me the ball and told me to get yards. They didn't
Yeah.
expect him to do anything like that, which is when you think about it. I mean, the dude's a freak of nature still to this day. But do you think that they should give the offense some sort of rep, in one of these games, at least? Because Lamar didn't play last preseason at all, and that was
Mm-hmm.
out of an abundance of caution. I get it. They didn't have Henry really run, but it showed in the first game. And we're on Sunday Night Football to open the year against Buffalo, in Buffalo on primetime television. So do you really want that to be the game where we work kinks out?
Man, it's hard, man. To be honest with you, like, we lost that first game against Buffalo, and people was extremely upset. We lost it by a freaking toenail. Isaiah Likely kicked the
The
ball in the
KC
back
game,
of
the Kansas City game.
the Kansas City game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost it by a toenail, and it was in the back of the end zone. And it was Isaiah Likely caught that ball, and everybody was frustrated after that game. I was really happy with what I saw overall. I mean, I knew we had a lot of kinks we had to work out. We didn't move the ball as effectively as we could, but nobody stopped us at all. We stopped ourselves that entire game. And that's what it was for the first half of the season. So it was like these things take time. The more you pay guys, these are the type of things that you're going to have to get used to seeing. It's the same thing in basketball. When they talk about taking the load off LeBron and all that, they sit them for, this amount of games, and Giannis and all those guys, and everybody's mad because they pay their money to come see Giannis. And that's why Jordan never missed a game, because he know people work hard to pay for those tickets, and they always came so he was like, I'm not missing a game. I'm going to play every single game. Nowadays, when you're paying these guys this type of money, you see how easily guys. Isaiah's out right now, with a broken foot. It's so easy to get hurt. One of my son's friends trained with us all summer long, and then he also was working out with his school, and then he went up there and he tore his plantar fasciitis on his foot.
Ooh.
So now he might be done for the whole season. He worked his ass off this entire summer, excited about football, can't wait to get out there to play, and don't even get a chance to play one game this year after all that work he put in. So it's disheartening to think that one play or one movement could sit you down for the whole year. So I understand why coaches are doing it, why franchises and organizations are doing it. It totally makes sense. I wouldn't be the guy to be like, that's stupid, because the times are different now, and we was built different when we played because of the fact how we had to go through 2-a-days and 3-a-days and things like that. And these guys,
the callus was there.
Say what now?
The callus of you guys practicing every day,
right,
2-a-days. By the time you were already beat up before the season even got there.
Before the season got there,
so playing against other teams wasn't difficult.
Understand.
Last question I want to ask you before we wrap.
Okay.
That has to do with the kickers.
Yeah.
We drafted Tyler Loop to replace Justin Tucker.
Damn, Tuck.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss
What's
you,
crazy, it hasn't been confirmed, but there was a report that came out in the local media last week where the Ravens haven't completely closed the door on having Justin Tucker come back to kick, because Tyler Loop started his first couple of days of camp. He didn't miss a kick, and then he went 3 for 7 in the open media session, and they just started absolutely destroying him. And they got a second kicker in camp right now, which is, I guess, is standard.
Yeah, always.
We haven't had a rookie kicker since Justin Tucker's rookie year. Do you believe that this kid needs to, be given enough leash to work through his kinks and find his footing? Because you're replacing a Hall of Fame kicker. You're the guy immediately after Tucker. That's going to be like the next guy that plays quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens when Lamar hangs it up. Like, that's the guy that's replacing Lamar, no matter how you swing it. So do you believe that this kicker deserves a little bit of grace from the fans?
I think it's tough, man. The kid's in a tough situation. Tucker had the worst year of his career last year, and we lost games because of it. And I think the fan base is kind of really struggling. I think the coaching staff is really struggling to kind of deal with that, even the front office. And now, so you try to bring somebody else in that hopefully can make you forget about that, not remember that shit. So it's one of those things where you got to take your emotions out of it and just try to be a businessman and just try to figure out what's the best way to maneuver through this. And a lot of times in the NFL, you do not get developed at all. Like you heard B-Mac talking about developing kids. That's their pitch. Now is, I'm going to develop you for D1. There's no development happening for you in the NFL. You either got it or you don't, so they don't really have a lot of time to waste to try to figure out whether or not this kid going to figure it out on game day. Oh, he's a gamer. I didn't realize he was a gamer. He just doesn't practice well, so in this league, you don't really get a chance to make it to games if you don't practice well. So hopefully he can figure it out real quick. Otherwise, he may be kicking for somebody else by mid-season.
That's a tough situation to be in. And my buddy Zach at Pigtown Sports, big shoes to fill. Loop's going to create his own pressure. Do you believe that Loop might be in his head already that, like, I'm the first kicker drafted in Ravens history? Every kicker we've ever had before him was either an undrafted free agent or a free agent from another team.
Yeah, that's pressure.
That's pressure, and
that's what we do.
And we drafted him in the 5th round, where most of the time in the 5th round, you're taking a flyer on a third-day receiver or a defensive tackle or a outside linebacker that you could probably stash for a year on IR or the practice squad. But we took a kicker, and
we did.
I think that he's
a good choice at the time.
It was, It was, but
I think it's a good choice. I think he's going to
It-
do well, man. He
it-
just got to
it
get
is.
over the fact that they let Tucker go. I think a lot of people come in. It's like having a Ray Lewis. You come in and you expect Ray Lewis to be starting, and you expect to learn from Ray Lewis. You don't expect to come in and they cut Ray Lewis, right?
Right.
So you expect to come in, you sit behind him, say, "Man, I got at least a year to kind of figure this thing out," and then they cut Ray Lewis because he
Yeah.
did some off the field stuff and don't have nothing to do with how good he is or how great he is, but they cut him. And
Yeah.
now you're left to have to try to fill those shoes, and that's pressure that you probably honestly didn't know that you was going to have because it's Ray Lewis in front of you. That's who Justin Tucker is. He's
Yeah,
Ray
you're
Lewis.
right.
He's the Ray Lewis of the kicking game. So when you look at it, I think there's a lot of added pressure that will be put on himself to try to fill shoes that may be a little bit too big to shoot, too big to fill. But if I had to tell the young guy anything, Matt, take it one kick at a time, my dog.
Yeah.
One kick at a time. You know, you get one, you get it. Just stick with it. Just watch the film, study your mechanics, and just keep working on it. Just keep working on it. You know how to kick.
I'm gonna end the show with this.
Yeah.
This team has had ginormous expectations
Always
for the last 2 years. Now in Baltimore, we are spoiled as fans because we have won a whole lot more games than we have lost. And we are constantly in the playoff hunt, and we're constantly in the conversation as one of the best teams. And after the last 2 years, I think the pressure's starting to mount just in the city. I listen to sports radio every single day. I listen to it in the car on the way to work, on the way home. I have the Apple on my phone to where I can catch it in some downtime during the day. This I know it's not just Tyler Lupe that's feeling this pressure. This team is talked about nationally now as being the best team in the league. Almost every major media outlet has us ranked in either 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And we're right there with Philadelphia or Kansas City, depending on who they're talking about.
I mean, it's our time, dog.
It's our time, and they got a lot of pressure, but I think that they'll be able to overcome it. And last thing, I know I said last thing twice. Shannon Sharp got let go by ESPN today.
That means there's an opening for you, Matt.
No,
go get it.
No,
go get it, big dog.
You're the former Ravens tight end. They like the
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. But
I don't want that pressure, dog.
Yeah, Unk settled his lawsuit with old girl, and ESPN gave him the axe around 5:00 today.
Yeah,
so,
I want to know how much it got settled for. Somebody said about 23, 25K. I mean mil, but I don't really know. I would like to know exactly what they actually, settled for.
Yeah. But that'll do it on the show. We will be back next week to cover the first Ravens preseason game. This coming weekend, I believe, is the Hall of Fame game and the Hall of Fame induction. Yonda and Suggs should be there. I'm a little bitter about that because Jared Allen's not better than Suggs. I know
that's right.
Yeah, so we'll cover the first game next week, and we'll see you guys then. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and interacting. Thank you again to Brandon McKinney for being our guest. If you want to find him on Facebook, just type his name in. He's tagged in our Facebook Live. Wilcox, that's a wrap, buddy. We'll see you guys next week.
One thing before we go, man, I just want to say, bro, we love you, man. We know this thing didn't turn out the way you wanted it to turn out with ESPN, but we love you. You always gonna be a Raven, dog. You huge in our hearts, and you've done a phenomenal job out there sharing your life with the world. And unfortunately, these type of things happen, man. But we want to wish you the best, and we know you're gonna land on your feet, Cat, because that's how you always been. Keep it up.
All right, that'll do it for We Bleed Purple. We will see you guys next week for the first preseason game.